You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender on Ron Siegel Radio, Mary Gaston, Realty Pro 100. Welcome.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Only if you're done celebrating National Liqueur Day from yesterday can you celebrate today, though. Do you like liqueurs? Yeah, okay. Little Baileys and coffee might be okay. Amaretto, Kahlua. There's a few of them that are decent.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you're too excited.
I don't want it by itself though. I guess Baileys and
coffee, right?
Kahlua
Or
over ice cream.
Kahlua. There you go. Kahlua over ice cream. Kahlua and cream. Mm-hmm. There's a few of them in there. Okay, amaretto. That's another. Okay. Moving right along, I guess having beaten anorexia, today's National Pasta Day. So, like pasta. Not that one, though. I like the ones with the shorter noodles. I tend to be sloppy anyway, so stuff drops on my shirt. The smaller noodles are... You like pasta?
I was going to say, didn't they just bring back the unlimited pasta at Olive Garden? Someone told me that.
Maybe. Yeah, they might have done. Well, I know you got unlimited salad, right?
Well, yeah, they always have like the unlimited like salad and soup, but like
and breadsticks.
The pasta one like comes and goes. I heard that they brought that one back.
Okay, so we might
in time.
Just in time. We might have to go over for it and see what they're doing for National Pasta Day at the Olive Garden. We'll see. Okay, what else do we have? Is there another one on there? Clean your virtual desk day. What the heck? I don't know. What does that even mean? So does that mean like your desktop on your computer?
Well, you do have a lot of wires around here, so.
But that's a real desk. That's not virtual.
Yeah, but you do a lot of stuff virtually. Clean up what your screen looks like.
Okay, I need that. I can't even hardly find anything on there myself. We better move right along and see what else before I get myself in too much trouble here. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 541 points. Don't be fooled. S&P 500 is up 97. NASDAQ is up 354 points. Oil up 52 cents a barrel. Have you been watching gas prices? I've been watching them. Well, thank goodness they're finally going down. 605 is the average for the state of California. Ow! Now, I must admit, I use premium in my car. My wife's car does not. And I think it was $5.40 something this weekend at Costco for premium unleaded. $5.40 something.
Jeez.
Costco in Yorba Linda.
Dang, I just filled up this morning. I should have gone to Costco. I'm going to Costco after work.
But do you need to fill up already?
Yeah, well, I mean, I filled up this morning. That's what I'm saying. I should have waited until
there you
after
go.
work
Okay.
when I go to Costco.
Yeah, 388 is the national average. Josh is over there at 526. Jody's paying 446. And Lori, $3.40 a gallon of gasoline is what Lori's paying. $3.40.
Remember when that was a high in California?
Right, isn't that amazing? Now,
what I would give for those days.
So I don't know if you remember this, Mary, well, I'm sure you don't remember this. So I'm going to reminisce here. So when gasoline first switched from being cents per gallon to dollars per gallon, they thought, oh, okay, well, we're going to fool all these people, especially in California. They're not going to know any better. So what we're going to do is change it to the cost per liter. And nobody could figure out that we were getting stiffed. But the prices were a lot. I filled up my wife's car just the other day. And she says, well, we're kind of low on gas. Now, you know my wife, so, so I go to fill.
2 miles left.
Yeah, I think she has a 26-gallon tank, and I put in 25 gallons. And $150 for a tank of gasoline. Ow! Now, I'm not going to even go there because now being that Mary's with us today, she may be listening. Usually she never listens, but being that Mary's here, she might even be listening today.
One of my 4 listeners.
One of your 7 listeners, Mary.
Oh,
We gotta
7.
Get 7.
Okay.
Come
well, I
on
figured
now.
Some dropped off. They're tired of hearing me talk.
No, they're tired of hearing me talk. But that's a whole different story. But let's see what else is going on. I mean, the president, I think he left town. I wonder what happened now. Do you watch Sunday Night Football? Great game last night, Dallas and Philadelphia. The first lady was at the game there, so I'm just kind of curious who was babysitting the president. I'm sure that we needed somebody watching what he was doing or where he was going or who he might be trying to shake hands with that might already be dead. I'm just throwing that out there. It is stuff that has happened recently with the president, so we always have to watch out what's going on with him. But I know he was out here campaigning, trying to see if he could help some folks get elected. But I think he does more for the opposition. So he was in Orange County. Now, usually the only thing that presidents come to Orange County for is to collect money. But he was actually doing a campaign event for Katie Porter. I don't know why, because Katie Porter's just a mini-me. She votes for anything that the party says. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, I don't know if you looked at gasoline prices. If this is what she does to help us, please don't help us anymore. We're at $6 a gallon of gasoline with all this help you're giving us, Katie. Unbelievable. What else is going on in the news? I know the European Union, they're still trying to figure out their central bank there, I guess, is going to start trying to help with inflation. The president said he's done a lot for inflation. Unfortunately, none of it has been good. Have you noticed anything that's good with the inflation numbers? We might have peaked out. I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. But one of the things that I don't know that I'll get to in the next segment, I guess we should talk about. It is kind of an interesting story. If you really enjoy watching what some of these Federal Reserve people are doing. So they know that they're causing pain. They've told us that. That's their intention. They want to try and get inflation under control. And they know what they're going to be doing, right? They're setting policy. But Fed President Kaplan, Fed President Rosengren, and now Raphael Bostic. I don't know. They might have a bit of a problem. Bostic now is the 3rd Fed president who's out there buying or potentially or allegedly buying stocks prior to this one was in their quiet period. They're not supposed to be doing anything or saying anything right before they enact policy, and another one going out there and doing it. It just baffles me. They don't think that anybody's going to find out. I mean, there's a camera for everything now. In fact, I just got on a different subject because it's a Monday morning. I go down rabbit trails. I just got our new latest project or process that we're going to be rolling out. Don't tell anybody I told you. There's only 7 people. I haven't even told my team about this yet. Josh is good. Josh puts his earphones on as soon as I say that. So, because anytime I roll something new out, that means there's another project for Josh. That's kind of how that works. But yes, Joe, of course. Oh, we got to love this one. The fun doing this show in the morning on StreamYard, we get to be interactive. Joe says, why is Mary on the show more than me? Because I like her.
You're welcome to take my place.
Where's that all coming from? Have you seen Joe in here? I mean, Joe helps those when you talk about 4 listeners.
Mm-hmm.
That's because Joe is on. 7 listeners is when you're on. Now that's 50%
I
more.
really help you.
50% increase in audience size. Oh well, let me move. Where was I? What was I? Oh, the new release. Thinking about buying or selling a house? If you're buying or selling, we're going to release our new relocator service. So think about this one. If you're buying or selling a new house, and I should actually have the information coming up on my screen right now. Our new service, we're going to help one phone call. We'll set up your utilities, cable, internet, trash and junk removal, home security, movers, moving truck, day labor, storage, all of that stuff. We're going to set that up all for you with one phone call, no cost to you, and you'll even get a new camera doorbell. Think about that for free. For free. One of my favorite words, for free. We're going to have all of that. So keep watching on the broadcast. We'll put all this stuff on there and watch on our social channels, Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook, Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. We'll put all the details for this. And another one that we're going to have fun with, Joe, I knew about this new stuff last week, but he's not telling any. Of course you did, Joe. So I think what we're going to start, we're going to have to figure this out, Josh. I just throw these things out there, let the team figure out how to implement. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give away, starting on Halloween, I think we're going to give away a trip every day we do a live broadcast. Every day. I don't know whether it's going to be to Vegas, and we'll have to get our Wheel of Fun put up on the screen, Josh. I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm not the millennial. He is. We'll put our Wheel of Fun on the screen. Anybody that's registered. Now, when you give you a trip to Vegas, we don't pay the gambling debts. We don't pay the fees or the taxes. We don't pay either. Not during the show, at least. I'm going to move right along. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Joe, this is why you were not invited today, because it's the millennial and the old man. We'd have to change the segment name if we put 2 old men on the show. The emotional and non-financial benefits of home ownership, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You know, I should throw this out there before I give you all the details in the minute. So I was at an event last week, Thursday and Friday, and there was a gentleman talking about loans at this event. And the guests there's probably about 300 people there, and they're asking him very, very specific questions about the loan programs. And, you know, it dawns on me that when you do that and you try and get granular on any kind of a loan program, you're probably just shooting yourself in the foot. You know, all you need to know is that, you know, there's loan programs where for rental properties, you don't need to have any income. There are loan programs out there for non-owner occupied properties and maybe some owner occupieds that you can use your bank accounts to qualify. If I go giving you all the details of it, that program may not be the exact right one for you. And you may say, well, okay, I'm not going to call because I don't fit. But there may be another one that we didn't just talk about that does fit for you. So I'm just throw that out there before I get into the mortgage minute, which I am going to do right now. Dow Jones or the S&P 500 is now up 93.68. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury. That's probably what's driving all these markets right now, is the 10-year Treasury down 4 basis points, 3.965. Mortgage-backed securities have been all over the place. They're now up 23 basis points, which means interest rates are down. And speaking of interest rates, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions. 30-year loans on Friday locked at 6.974. Ooh, that's a new one. Ow! Jumbo 6.596, FHA 6.741, USDA out there in those rural areas 6.72, and the best loan on the market for those that earned it. That'll be the 30-year VA loan at 6.644. Why is all of this happening? What's driving the markets? You can find all that information out on that super secret website, google.com. But we got to find out why it's happening. That's why you tune in to Ron Siegel Radio. Usually we see that stocks and bonds are going in the opposite directions. Right now, they haven't been lately. Helping bonds today, though, is news out of the UK that the new Chancellor of the Exchequer, I don't know if I said that right. I probably did not. Call it Treasury Secretary, outlines his new plan, which is basically just a backtrack of the unfunded tax cuts. The 10-year gilt, that's the same as our 10-year Treasury. Yields are down 35 basis points to just under 4%, which is a 2-week low. As a result, European yields are also falling across the board. And in turn, our bond market is benefiting. It's rare that stocks and bonds consistently fall together and the end of the year negatively and end the year negatively. Since World War II, this happened 3 times. 1969, 2018, and so far in 2022. If the year ended today, this is big information for you. It would be the first time in history that both stocks and bonds were down over 10% in a year. The following year after this abnormality occurs, 10-year yields were lower. Looking at the year following the past 2 occurrences, in 1970, the 10-year declined 18%, while in 2019, it dropped 29%. Why is that important to you? Mortgage-backed securities, the mortgage interest rates follow that very closely. They're not the same. So if we split the difference between the two, would it be possible to see a 24% decline in the 10-year next year? 24% decline, which would be a yield under 3% and would be mortgage rates right around 5%. Now, I did tell you that I was at 2 weeks ago, the Chamber of Commerce, the Newport Beach Chamber of Commerce, their economic forecast, and they had the chief economist for the California Association of Realtors there. I think he might have been smoking something funny, but I'm not sure. And he made a comment that the 30-year mortgage would end the fourth quarter of 2022. That's where we are right now at 5.2%. 5.2%.
You know better than that.
I just told you we're at 6.97. It's not going down that low. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I think this show is going off track right now, so I got to catch up on a couple of these comments from our friend Joe Ingram. Joe Ingram, not Ingram. I knew about this. We already talked about that. We can do an old man squared segment. Joe, I would have to be old man round. I don't do square. And yes, you're right, Joe. On the old man show, we need to pee. It's about every hour and a half when you're over 55. Or you might already be there.
I'm every 10 minutes when I'm pregnant. Come on.
Well, I've never had that problem. So, okay. So every 10 minutes when you're pregnant. Okay. Well, so let's talk about, this is our segment of the millennial and the old man. We do this every month. Mary Walters, Realty Pro 100, is good enough to come in and help us out.
Walters.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Gaston. See, now, you know something? I'm gonna share this with everybody because I've done this once before. Not with somebody that was married. I actually helped somebody that had a estate sale business, and she had just sold the company, or not sold the company. She was actually suing the franchisor, and I announced her as the old company name. That's why I ask everybody for cards when they come in now. It does help a little bit, but I thought I might be able to figure this out. I guess I can't. I'm gonna have to put a sign next time, Mary. You did a Mary Walters for how long?
I know that was the first time you've actually slipped up. I still introduce myself as Walters. So.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you've used it longer than I have.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get on with the subject at hand today. And there's basically 3 different topics that we're going to address during the course of the broadcast today. And I want to just lay out what these 3 are. That way I remember. I am a bit on the older side. I don't even know if you saw this, Mary. So will mortgage rates keep rising? That's subject 1. What's happening with home prices and the shining star of the housing market? So we got a lot to get to. When the economic uncertainty dust settles, those buyers and sellers who are on the sideline will jump back in the housing game. Demographic trends support elevated purchase demand in the years to come. So it's a question of when, not if, for the housing market. Okay, so housing market is not going to stay this way forever, I guess is what they're trying to tell us. That makes sense. That was easy. In times, yeah, we got that one down. Times of uncertainty, people follow the certain. Now, why do people do that? That's an interesting one. Why do they follow the certain? Well, because it's easy. If you listen to Warren Buffett, when there's blood on the street, that's when you're buying. And if you go back to 2008 or 9, when the mortgage meltdown, do you remember that? Bank of America. Does anybody remember what Warren Buffett did when these companies were all having all kinds of serious problems? Anybody know what Warren Buffett did at that time? He went and bought billions of dollars worth of Bank of America stock. Now the market is all crashing in front of us. And what does Buffett do? He went and bought Bank of America. I think he bought a special class of stock, paid about $6 a share. Want to guess where Bank of America stock is right now? Any idea?
I was trying to read the number on your screen.
I can't see that far. $33.
I was going to say 23.
Yeah, $33. So maybe it's not, the idea isn't to wait for the certainty. What do you think? Should we wait?
Well, it depends what you're talking about waiting for.
Prices to go down, mortgage rates to go down?
Yeah, I'd say no.
I can't see the prices. We're going to talk about the prices in just a minute. But, are you going to try and time it? Have you ever tried timing the market?
I think the only time is when I first bought my condo. I mean, I was in real estate working in the back end. Like, I've always sort of worked more back end office management. And it was sort of like a market where it was going up slowly. I was like, oh, it'll come down. And then finally I was like, it's not coming down. I have to buy.
Right.
Like, I'm about to be priced out. So I finally just jumped in and bought.
Do you think we're going to get priced out now?
I mean, I think there are a lot of people who are priced out just because of the interest rates and how quickly they jump, but there's a lot of people who can still afford to buy.
So it's more an issue of affordability than it being a bad buy.
Exactly.
Okay. So a couple of quotes that we have here. The U.S. housing market stares down an even bigger economic shock. Mortgage rates near 7%, about as close as we can get right now. I think I just mentioned that they were at 6.974 is where they locked out on Friday. So that's pretty close to 7%. Mortgage rates reached the highest level since 2008, 30-year. 2008? So you mean they were higher in 2008? What do you know? 30-year fixed rate mortgage jumps over 7%. So the bottom line of what we're talking about right there is we've seen this game before. We've played this song in the past. It's not like it's something that rates have been there. We're still at some really great rates. And maybe, well, Mary, you've talked about this before with us about what millennials thinking is on rates, right? They don't know of any, you don't remember a 8% or 9% or 10%.
No.
So, and do you really, and you're involved in this more than the average person. A lot of people have no clue about mortgage rates until they need one.
Hmm.
So the question becomes, are your friends mentioning these kind of things? Are they worried about mortgage rates?
A little bit, yes, but I think more so they're just worried about the prices. That's more what I hear about from my friends is they like mortgage rates right over their head. They're more concerned about the prices and how fast things went up the last couple of years, and they're waiting for that crash.
Because that's the only recession they ever know.
Exactly.
So it's an education issue because
Mhm.
with supply and demand so low, it's kind of hard to, or balanced, I should say. Not supply and demand is pretty balanced. Hard to figure out how we're going to, what's going to cause a crash.
Mhm.
Unless somebody really needs out or we get a real bad recession. I know, Mr. President, we're not in a recession. 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP is no longer a recession. Mortgage rates rise for the 6th consecutive week. Okay, so 6.7 was where they on the charts came out before these numbers did from last week. So if you look at the chart that we've got right now, we're actually seeing that these rates are continuing to go up, and it's pretty dramatic increase.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary part.
Yeah,
because
that's a sharp arrow up.
That which can go up this quickly can go down that quickly. So January 6th, and this is a Freddie Mac number, 3.22. And on September 29th, 6.70 is what we're looking at on this chart. So pretty dramatic increases. We're going to continue this conversation with Mary Walters when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. The emotional and non-financial benefits of home ownership. With higher mortgage rates, you might be wondering if now is the best time to buy a home. While the financial aspects are important to consider, there are also powerful non-financial reasons it may make sense to make a move. Here are just a few of the benefits that come with home ownership. Homeowners can make their home truly their own. Owning your home gives you a significant sense of accomplishment because it's a space you can customize to your heart's desire. That can bring you added happiness. I'm not going to even go there. In fact, a report from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, shows making updates or remodeling your home can help you feel more at ease and comfortable in your living space. NAR measures this with a joy score that indicates how much happiness specific home upgrades bring. According to NAR, quote, there were numerous interior projects that received a perfect joy score of 10. Paint the entire interior of your home. Paint one room of your home. Add a new home office. That's joyful. Hardwood flooring refinish. New wood flooring. Closet renovation. This one's got to be really great. Insulation upgrade.
So much joy.
Yeah, doesn't that really excite you? Now, I'm glad you said that, Mary. I am so glad. Now, here's the issue. When it comes to home renovations, I know I'm going to get mail that says it's sexist. I don't care. It's the women that make the decisions, right? In my house, I get no vote, right? If my wife wants something changed, yes, dear, right? That's the 35 years I figured it out. Yes, dear. And I'm glad you said, Mary, that, insulation upgrades does not really bring a lot of joy.
No.
I don't know about that. Well, it's NAR. I just throw that out there. As a homeowner, unless there are specific homeowners association requirements, you typically won't have to worry about the changes you can and can't make. If you rent, you may have the same freedom. And if you do make changes as a renter, there's a good chance you'll need to revert them back at the end of your lease based on your rental agreement. Yeah, the homeowner might really want you to get rid of that attic insulation. They might not want to have that redone insulation. The responsibilities of homeownership give you greater sense of achievement. There's no denying taking care of your home is a large responsibility, but it's one you'll take pride in as a homeowner. Freddie Mac explains, quote, as the homeowner, you have the freedom to adopt a pet, paint the walls any color you choose, renovate your kitchen, and more. Of course, along with the freedoms of homeownership come responsibilities such as making your monthly mortgage payments on time and maintaining your home. But as the property owner, you'll be caring for your own interest, unquote.
You don't have to pay with your renting.
Yeah, you don't have to pay that. Well, this is California, Mary. You may not need to. You're not taking care of living space that belongs to someone else. The space is yours. As an added benefit, you may get a return on investment for any upgrades or repairs you make. However, home ownership can lead to greater community engagement. The sense of ownership and your feelings of responsibility can even extend beyond the walls of your home. Your home also gives you a stake in your community because the average homeowner stays in their home for longer than just a few years. That can lead to having a stronger connection to your local area. NAR notes how that can benefit you. Quote, living in one place for a longer amount of time creates an obvious sense of community pride, which may lead to more investment in said community, unquote. If you're looking to put down roots, homeownership can help a sense of connection to the area and those around you. If you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance, give us a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Be happy to give you some education and some help, and maybe even put together a program that helps in the affordability of properties right now. That's a big issue, is the affordability. So we've got some programs that'll help you afford more than maybe you think you can afford. Back chatting with Mary Gaston, Realty Pro 100. I got it right this time.
You did.
Mortgage rates rise for the sixth consecutive week. The uncertainty of volatility in financial markets is heavily impacting mortgage rates. Our survey indicates that the range of weekly rate quotes for the next 30-year fixed-rate mortgage has more than doubled over the last year. This is from Sam Cotter, chief economist from Freddie Mac. U.S. weekly averages 30 years 6.7. You got to pay 0.9 of a point, almost 1% to get it. So it is uncertain. But what is it? Is there anything in our world right now that's not uncertain?
Mm-mm.
Right? When you're thinking about buying a new house, maybe even a new home, rents are going up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, nothing is really stagnant. So the idea of a mortgage, that can only go one direction, though. That's kind of a benefit.
Yep.
Right? It stays the same for the life of the loan or whatever your term is, but you have the opportunity. There's no one that says you can't refinance it down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to go back to the higher cost of property values?
No.
Right? So you get to keep that equity and you're all in good shape. Odetta Cushy, Deputy Chief Economist, First American. The aim of Fed tightening is to curtail demand in an effort to tame inflation. And when it comes to the housing market, the Fed's actions are working. Isn't that exciting? What's so funny?
Are they? Didn't realize.
Yeah, I guess if they're trying to kill the economy, cut jobs, cut the housing market, cause pain, they're working.
Okay.
Home sales, both new and existing, are falling. Builders have cut back production in response to rapidly declining affordability. And annual house price growth has slowed from the peak of nearly 21% in March of this year to 16.7% in July. 16.7, it still seems like a pretty high number, doesn't it?
Yes.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I know that they're trying to bring it down, but 16.7 is still, in my opinion, still probably a bit too hot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
We want it to come back a little bit. George Radiu, senior economist at Realtor.com. While even 2 months ago, rates above 7% may have seemed unthinkable, at the current pace, we can expect rates to surpass that level in the next 3 months. That's wouldn't surprise me, right? I mean, I don't see any catalyst for rates coming down. Obviously, the inflation is not slowing the way they wanted it to, so maybe that's not the issue.
I thought we just said they fixed it.
Yeah, they did say. Well, apparently, Mr. Radiu and Odetta Cushy don't agree.
Oh.
Let's see what. I can't even say this one. The economist from Realtor.com, Jiao Zhu. There's no
Close.
doubt. Say that again.
It's a close, sure.
You're not gonna correct me on that one, are you?
I'm not even gonna try.
Thanks. Leave the host out there on a limb. There's no doubt that the increasing mortgage rate will make home buying even more challenging. Buyers may still find opportunities as these changes coincide with the time of the year when buyers have historically found the best market conditions to obtain more bargaining power. So you've got a lot of realtors that you work with. Is there more buying power? Are the buyers really taking over right now?
No, I mean, we're still in a seller's market. They we find sellers are starting to give more concessions, and there's nothing crazy going on like there was during COVID where people are waiving, inspections and waiving appraisals and stuff like that. So there is a chance to get more seller concessions, but it's still, slight seller's market moving towards that more balanced market.
Is it a safer market when you're not waiving a inspection or appraisal? Do you think that gives somebody a little bit more of a safer investment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives the buyers more peace of mind, I would say. I mean, I think it's a scary situation going into a buyer where you're waiving appraisal and you're waiving inspections and, you really don't have any contingency to back out if you find something wrong with the home. So it gives you a little sense of security, and at least you know what you're buying. If you may be willing to buy that house with a slab leak, but at least you know what you're getting into. Exactly.
Okay. Mark Fleming, chief economist from First American. While mortgage rates are expected to continue to drift higher over the coming months, not according to the chief economist for the California Association of Realtors, but I digress. Much of the rapid increase in rates is likely behind us. Nationally, while month-over-month house prices may decline, annual house price declines are not expected, given the ongoing supply-demand imbalance and continued strength in the labor market. Strength in the labor market, okay. So I guess a lot of people are doing really well. I don't know. I get out there a lot and talk to a lot of people. Tell me what you're seeing, though. Are people excited in the market? Are they feeling safe and secure and sense with their jobs and housing and cars and budgets and holidays?
I mean, for the people that I, know and have surrounded myself with, yeah.
They do have a sense of serenity.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
good.
doing okay out there.
They're doing good. We like that. So now that we've talked about all this mortgage stuff, now we're going to get to the good stuff. What's ahead for home prices? The root issue of what drives house prices almost always is supply and demand, according to Dave Ramsey. Well, Dave Ramsey and I don't agree on a whole lot, but this one I agree with him on. It is all about supply and demand.
Yep.
So let's take a look at a chart of supply and demand then. Supply and demand ratio quickly changing. Year over year consensus. Showings, so that would be buyers, down 12.2%.
Yeah, I don't think this is like a fair chart though, because year over year, I mean, we're talking about we were in that super, super low demand, which was already unusual for having such low demand, coupled with the super, super high. So just showing that demand's down and like listings are up, I feel like it's not a fair comparison. Like you need to look at it over time, not just the year over year. Especially when you're comparing it to a anomaly year. Exactly. Because someone will look at that and say, oh, well, demand's down. So obviously we're now in a buyer's. No, it's not a fair chart. So the chart's actually showing that the showings are down 12.2%, which is telling us about supply side. And listings are up 26.9%. It's the other way around. Showings are the demand side, listings are the supply side. And I agree with you. It's not, when you're looking at it against an anomaly year, it doesn't really count. And,
right now, or when we were in the summer, this is probably a couple months old, this data. We just got it because they have to accumulate all the data. And I've got all the supporting documents if anybody ever wants to see the supporting documents for the charts that we share. But I think you're right. It's a tough comparison. And, especially as we start going into we're in the fourth quarter, hard to believe. But who's moving right now? It's just people that need to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you're not looking at saying, okay, I want to, what I'm really looking for around Halloween time or around Thanksgiving is I want to move.
Yeah.
Right. If you got a job relocation, family changes, those are times when you're going to move. So, okay, Mary, now that we've got you and I just sharing our our thoughts, and I'm going to say we're right. What are the experts saying? Ivy Zellman, she projects U.S. house prices will fall 4% in 2023 and another 5% decline in 2024. What did she say in 2022? Oh, yeah. She said they were going to fall 6% then. So maybe, or 2021. Yeah, I don't think we want to go with Ivy, even though she does a great job generally. George Radiu, go back to him again. Not surprised, and he's the senior economist at Realtor.com. Not surprisingly, deals are not getting done. Deals are not getting done. With sales of new and existing homes declining for over half a year. Given that demand is cooling due to high borrowing costs, incomes falling behind inflation, and the still limited supply pipeline, it is becoming increasingly clear that prices have to decline to restore market liquidity and balance. He's the expert saying that deals are not getting done. Are you getting deals done?
We are. I mean, yes, it's slowed down. Deals are still being made, though.
Okay, one of the gentlemen in your office that I love listening to is very, very bright. He always watches the amount of properties that are falling out of escrow.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing a lot of that?
In our office, particularly, no.
Okay.
Maybe a few here and there, but for the most part, once they're in escrow, they're staying in escrow. There's not a lot of deals that are unraveling.
So they're finding the right people to
Mm-hmm.
are you still getting multiple offers?
It depends on the property. Some yes, some no.
Okay. Mark Fleming, chief economist, First American. While the market's considered overvalued, may need to adjust to the not so new reality of higher mortgage rates, housing market fundamentals still support a moderation of annualized house price appreciation rather than a sharp decline. Mark Fleming. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The moderation of prices, not the sharp decline.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's a safer number. We're going to continue this conversation because we got more. John Paulson, he's a billionaire hedge fund manager. We're going to talk about what he has to say, and maybe we'll shed a little more insight onto what, as a generality, the markets are thinking. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Mary Gaston, Really Pro 100. When we come back, you can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You probably heard during the commercial break, 79% of all credit reports contain errors, and I'd be the first one to say that I haven't seen any that did not contain errors. When I've been looking at the first family I helped with a loan was in 1983. Some of you may not have been born then. But I've never seen a credit report that's completely accurate. So I doubt yours is. Go to creditsanitizer.com, creditsanitizer.com. Get a free credit audit. Free. Doesn't cost you anything. You do have to have a specific credit report. That'll cost you $1. So for a whopping $1, you may save a lot of money. Creditsanitizer.com, creditsanitizer.com. Get back to our conversation on the markets. Mary Gaston Realty Pro 100 helps us out with the Millennial and the Old Man segment every month. John Paulson, billionaire hedge fund manager, called the 2008 crash. I don't know what he called it, but I know he made billions of dollars. We're not at risk of a collapse today in the financial system like we were before. It's true, housing may be a little frothy, so housing prices may come down or they may plateau, but not to the extent it happened. I think I'm in agreement with him.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the same boat?
Yeah, I agree. They might come down a little bit. They might stay flat, at least until, interest rates come down a bit.
So let's talk about this one though, Mary, because I want to chat about this. This was a conversation at a group that we were at. You and I were both at together last week. And we also had a real estate broker from Temecula on the show last week. And we were looking at median home prices. And we looked at the new listings. So right now, as of today, in Anaheim Hills, it just happens to be the chart I pulled up. Median list price is $1.2 million. New listings of median is $1.074 million. That's the mix of properties. That does not mean that property values in that zip code have dropped by $120,000, right? So we want to. They can't hear you shake your head on radio.
No.
Josh is going to yell at me. Okay, where's the audio on this one? Turn up her mic. I can't turn up her mic, Josh. She shook her head. Just throw that out there. So let's get into some forecasting. I know that you're the economist in the group. Let's talk about home price forecast for 2023. The latest forecasts from a bunch of different entities. And I only care about one, but there are 6 of them here. Fannie Mae 4.4% up, Freddie Mac 4% up, MBA 2.8% up, Home Price Expectations Survey 2.6% up, NAR 1.2% up, and Zelman 4% down. Now, think about those. And I've shared this with you before. The only one that I care about on there is HPES. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, HPES is the only one that matters. Why? That is a conglomeration of over 100 economists. And when you get 100 economists asking them for their opinion, you get 200 opinions because none of them will give you just one. So they're all from the real estate sector, banking, academia, and business. And if you put all of those together and they say up 2.6% for 2023, it's going to be pretty close to that.
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad?
Depends who you ask. If you're a buyer trying to get in, well, if you're a buyer trying to get in, not great. But for homeowners, yeah, it's good.
Okay. I think for a buyer trying to get in, it's not bad either, though, because they don't want to pay more, but you also don't want to catch a falling knife.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can have, a little bit more
moderation.
Yes, and no going in, you're not going to buy and then the market's going to crash. Because I think that's what a lot of people are on the fence about, that they're nervous about. It's the affordability, number one, because of the interest rates. And number two, a lot of people are afraid that prices are going to come down. So they're going to get locked in this huge payment with the, high interest rates, and then prices are going to fall and they're not even going to have any equity in the home.
So as a millennial, think about your friends, not you, because you're in the industry. So you have a little different perspective. Mm-hmm. Are they worried about the price or the payment?
Both. And I think that's again, it's more of an education issue with a lot of people out there, where it's not about the price you pay. It's what you're paying monthly. What can you afford to pay monthly?
Can I afford it or not?
Exactly.
Okay. So let's take a look at what a number of, here's an interesting chart. So MSA, Metropolitan Standard Area, I believe is what the acronym stands for. So this is looking at Los Angeles, doesn't just count the city or the county, it's the area. San Diego, yeah, Escondido's part of that. So we look at this one and we ask the economists to forecast out of 618 MSAs around the country. I'm sorry, out of, what is that, 800, almost 900 MSAs. 618 say that we're going to are forecasting appreciation. So there are some areas that are going to get hit and see prices drop, values drop of a specific property on a specific street. That's fair. Now, only 30 greater than 3% drop. So think about that. 57 MSAs are forecasted to appreciate over 5%. The vast majority, the biggest number, is 258 MSAs at 1 to 3%. And again, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you can see this chart. If you're listening to us on radio, give us a call. We'll send you the chart. Or you can go and look at the broadcast on the socials. But the bottom line here is there might be specific pockets that we see some dropping values.
Yes.
Right? Do I think that Orange County is going to drop? Probably
No.
not. Is LA County going to drop? Probably not. Ventura? Probably not. San Bernardino? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, realistically, that one could. We don't know. But, the vast majority are not. And, even if they do, I would, other than 30 MSAs, so 1% of the country, are they forecasting anything more than a 3% drop?
Yeah.
That's what you're waiting for?
Yeah.
So here's the question then, Mary. It's risk versus reward.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, if it only drops, 1 to 3%, but interest rates go up another, point.
Right. And, they're going to come, real estate value, even if it does drop 1 to 3, it's going to come back.
Yes.
And interest rates are going to drop. Right? During recessions, they drop. Not right away, but they do drop. Appreciation, depreciation forecast for 2023. Number of analysts forecasting levels of price change. So again, on this chart, the next one in our stack, you can actually see that even the analysts, they're not really, the number of analysts saying that we're going to see depreciation is not a lot of them, right? 16, 21 maybe out of all of them. Not a big number. We're in good shape. Forecast for 2024 through 2026. That's even more important because most people that I know, maybe you're different, they don't buy a house just to hold it for a year.
No.
Investors maybe. But forecast 24 through 2026, 86% are forecasting appreciation in 24. Okay, maybe they know what's going on.
Yeah.
In 2025, 91.4 are expecting appreciation. In 2026, 96.8. Seems like we've got a pretty strong market.
Yeah, because even if that's 1 to 3% a year,
right?
You're looking at 3 to 9% over 3 years.
And if you want to know what your area appreciates at, we have a real estate report card that we come out with every month. And I think the last we looked at for Orange County was over the last 63 years, like 5.39% appreciation. So the real issue is we never even got to the shining star here, Mary. We got to do this one quick, Josh. He may have to cut down some of the things. So what's the shining star in all of this?
It says equity.
Equity. A lot of equity out there. U.S. households own $141 trillion in owner-occupied real estate, just over $12 trillion in debt, and the remaining $29 trillion in equity. The national loan-to-value in the second quarter 2022, 29.5% equity. Homeowners had an average of $320,000 in inflation-adjusted equity in their homes as of the second quarter of 2022, an all-time high. That's a lot of equity.
Yeah, that's an average of 320,000.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So people have a lot of money tied up in their properties. And think about that. What can you do with that? For many households, according to Selma Hepp, interim lead of the Office of Chief Economist at CoreLogic, for many households, home equity is the only source of wealth creation. As a result, recent record gains in equity and record declines in loan-to-value ratios will provide many homeowners with a financial buffer in case economic conditions worsen. I'm going to say that that's a maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because what can you do with equity if economic conditions worsen?
I mean, pull some money out now.
There
Have
you
it
go.
ready.
Yeah, be ready for it. Take the money out, put it in a side account so they can't take your credit line away. Call us and get a home equity line of credit so you have that aside as a buffer. Think about this. If you took half that equity, 320, was it 320,000?
Mm-hmm.
Take half of that. Well, let's do round numbers, 200,000. How many months worth of payments can you make with $200,000? Think about that. If you lose your job, fall off a curb, get hit by a bus, any of those things, right? It helps you out. Year over year equity in just in California is $117,000 is what the chart shows. $117,000. Nationally for the year, $60,000. Got a lot of equity out there. Percentage of change in home prices, since 1991. That might be before you start buying real estate, Mary. 319.1% appreciation in California.
Yeah, honestly, like I almost expected that number to be higher.
From 91 to 2022? Is that 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
100% every 10 years, though.
Yeah.
That is pretty high.
And let's look at rent, though. We need to look at rent. Right? The chart on rent is always looks like used to look like a ski slope. Now it looks like Niagara Falls. Right? I mean, it's gone up dramatically since 1998. And we talked about 88. You're right. I can't see. Dramatically there. So a lot of things that are positive in the real estate market. I know you sounds like I'm a honk sometimes on real estate, that I'm always pounding the table, that it's a good buy. If you are a young individual, you're not old like me, get real estate. If you can buy two, if you already have one, buy another one. There are loan programs out there where you can take the money and make a down payment if the property does qualify based on these rents that we're showing on that chart, or we did show on the chart. You don't even have to show income to buy the property. The property qualifies you for it. So give us a call at 800-306-1990 to see about that. If you want help or you want to set up a game plan, call Mary. She and her team can help you out with a game plan to pull some of that equity. I assume I'm speaking for you, Mary, I guess.
Yeah.
You
way.
you can call Mary and set up a game plan, take some of that equity out, go buy another piece of property. You get it on the debt plan so that you don't have to worry about qualifying from income. And when the interest rates drop, as they will, in most recessions, you just buy another piece of property. You refinance it and bring that value, the payment down, and continue on that game of Monopoly.
Yep.
Right? Just a game of Monopoly. As always, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A special thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.